Okay, you are live. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of VCTV. It's the Venture Capital TV. It's from Latok. And today we're going to discuss about investments in sustainability and social impact. Today we have a full house. I'm so happy. I can see all my speakers on my screen today. And Gary's also joined after canceling. Great to have you all. It makes me immensely happy when I see all the speakers turning up on the show. Thank you so much for your time and your obviously the lovely insights which just going to follow. Great. So before I start introducing the speakers, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Annie Mohanty. As you can see, I work for Latok in Singapore. I've been hosting VCTV since last year. VCTV is a platform for founders and entrepreneurs to meet investors like yourself. So yes, that's the platform where we connect both parties. So today we're going to talk about sustainability and social impact. So let's start with a quick round of intro of the speakers that we have today. I'm going to start with Devang today. Hi, Devang. Over to you, please. Please, quick intro and background.
Hi, Sunny. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. As usual, I am Devang Mehta. I'm a partner at Antil Ventures, a speed scaling ecosystem through which we invest and scale early stage companies at pre-Series A and Series A. In conjunction, I am also a founding member at Lumos, a healthcare accelerator that we run along with HCG, India's biggest oncology chain. My background is a mix of enterprise software and credentials in computer science and an MBA from Carnegie Mellon, and early stage investing in India for 5 years now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Devang, and welcome to VCTV. Next, I have Tarun. Hi, Tarun. This is your first time on VCTV. How are you today? Quick intro and background about yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Tarun Agrawal, and I am working in GVFL. It's a Gujarat-based VC fund, venture capital fund. We are a sector agnostic fund, and we invest at a pre-series, series at my personal level, I have been into impact investment from since last eight years, and I have been investing in a very early stage, like having just signing a take a check of 100K or 200K, and then going to 1 million to $2 million. So primarily, I'm keen interested in agri tech and fintech, specifically focus into impact space. So look forward.
Yeah, thank you. Tarun? All right. Okay, next we have Tushar. Hi, Tushar. Welcome back. How are you today?
Hi, Sunny. Good to be back with all of you, and especially Gary there, Flo also. I'm Tushar Kansal. I run two companies. One is Consultancy Ventures, which is guides investments into tech companies and non-tech companies globally in Singapore, Dubai, US, UK, and so on. I also manage Saffron First. That's an angel network of 38 high net worth individuals. And a lot of these individuals are actually based out of India. So we invest globally. Personally, my background has been in Deloitte and Touche private equity practice, in brand capital. That's the Times of India's investing arm. And also managed treasury at MPS, the Russian company Systema's India unit, and was CFO with Guggenheim Partners' own company called DLI. So good to be back here and look to discuss about this very important theme, sustainability.
Perfect. Thank you, Tushar, and welcome back on VCTV. Okay, next I see on my screen Sean. Hi, Sean. Happy New Year and welcome back. How are you today?
Hello, hello, hello. It's a pleasure to be here. It's my first back in the year, so it's good. Sunny, good to see you watching on VCTV.
We can't hear you, Sean. You're breaking up slightly.
How about now? Can you hear a little bit better now?
Yeah, try again. Try again.
Yes, my name is Sean Burrows. I was saying it's a pleasure to be here. It's my first time on here this year. Nigeria is experiencing very difficult internet connection. We'll see if we can work our way through it today. Again, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now very well.
Awesome, awesome. So again, my name is Sean. I do operations for the Ingressive umbrella of companies, including Ingressive Advisory and Ingressive Capital, which is a $50 million VC fund that focuses on traditional African business sectors that are tech enabled. And I'm also the co-founder of Ingressive for Good, which is an organization dedicated to training 1 million youth, connecting them to 5,000 jobs and deploying $1 million in scholarship funding. My background is basically high-level operations for food and beverage and later on telecom. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sean, for that intro, and welcome back on VCTV. Okay, hope things get better in Nigeria. Alrighty. Next, I see on my screen William. Hi, William. Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm good. Good evening, all, and thanks for inviting me to the show again. I'm William Du from Engineers House. We are in financial services, and in 2020, we actually involved into a family office investing in sustainable business. So, looking forward to talk about sustainable futures. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, a lot of sustainable food, agri-tech, and whatnot. Okay.
Right.
Next, I have on my screen Gary. Gary, hi, Gary. Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm great, buddy. One day I don't miss it in the last, 10 months or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's great to be here. Great to see all my friends. And my name's Gary Fowler, and I'm a country boy. I've co-founded or been involved in 17 startups. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion 22 months ago. And in addition to that, I'm the co-founder of Viva.ai, which is one of the top 10 AI HR tech companies and a unicorn. I love artificial intelligence and quantum. I write a lot about it. I've written now 117 articles on AI and quantum. In fact, I just published one Monday, actually, on the quantum internet. So we're looking for companies in artificial intelligence. We curate them from around the world. I am the co-founder, CEO, and president of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studios that's using Silicon Valley as a port to the rest of the world, working with companies from Africa, India, literally all over Germany, South America today, Russia, and that's it, because we believe there's an incredible opportunity for those companies to go global. We love social impact. We're building a $100 million social impact fund out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been working very closely with the Black community in the U.S. In fact, one of the board members of the NAACP is on our board.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gary, for that intro. And yes, thank you so much for sharing those details. Next, last but not least, I see on my screen Flo. Flo, hi. How are you? Happy New Year. I think this is the first time we're talking in 2021. Welcome back on VCTV.
Yeah. Hi, Sonny. Welcome back. Thank you for the chance again to speak, for the invite. So, and Servus, I'm Flo. I'm calling in from Germany right now. Happy to be on this call with Sonny and old fellows like Gary and Tushar. So my background is software development in tech. I've been a serial entrepreneur running a couple of software companies. I've started 10 years ago, I've started an investment company where I've always been focused on sustainable investments. And now for the last 3 years, I've been running a cryptocurrency called Nico. It's a stable currency for the common good. We provide universal basic income, generate profits, and protect the climate. Our vision is to build a new financial system that serves the people and the planet. So, sustainability and social impact, these are two of our core elements. We measure our success with the triple bottom line. So we measure the impact we have socially, environmentally, but also on the financial bottom line for our investors. So I'm really happy to be on this call with all these folks here and excited to talk about my favorite topics.
Fantastic. Thank you, Flo, and welcome everybody. So as we know, 2020 has been a year for pausing and thinking about our existence on this planet. Besides, the business case for sustainability has only gotten stronger. There is a sense that we need to act now and change the world to build back better. 2020 pandemic lockdowns impacted our way of living and working. As a consequence of less activity, air pollution decreased in cities and global emission went down by 7%. Okay, but unfortunately, without systematic changes, these reductions are temporary. With a timid economic recovery, emissions are expected coming back. On top of that, the low price of oil and uncertainty about the future reduce the attractiveness for investing in energy efficiency or renewable energy or the demand for electric vehicles. Besides, the pandemic has postponed the momentum towards COP2C or climate change movements like Greta Thunberg's Fridays for Future. On the other hand, sustainability and climate change have never been so much in focus. So we've been isolated, all of us, physically in the last 1 year. So it has illuminated how much we value with being with each other. That's why VCTV brings us together on this platform. This means eating in restaurants, attending concerts, watching live sports, and most importantly, old-fashioned volunteer projects. So let's talk about social impact. Let's talk about sustainable impact and the trends for 2021. So I'm going to start with okay. I'm going to start with Devang. Hi, Devang. Well, let's start with you.
Sure.
So, what are the trends that's going to emerge in 2021 in sustainability? Because this is something that has to be taken into account as a priority now that we've seen 2020, and social impact as well in terms of investments, in terms of startups. Yeah, what's the trend going to look like?
No, again, since I handle healthcare at Antil and Lumos, I read and listen to a lot of plans that, since they're in healthcare, they automatically blend into a lot of social impact. For example, we see startups that have early detection for cancer, and then there are specific Indian startups that have, really innovative tools for detecting throat cancer through sputum and other kinds of cancers that are more specific to India because of the level of tobacco consumption and all that. And I think these startups, as they grow and scale, right? And whenever a startup like this scales, the cost of manufacturing comes down because you're manufacturing more units. So the cost for cancer testing comes down and becomes much more affordable for the masses. So it's a kind of business plan and a kind of startup that automatically blends itself into a lot of social impact, even though the main DNA might not be social impact. It could be a typical commercial enterprise, but it ends up having a lot of social impact. Specifically, broadly, the trend being cancer screening for the masses. Um, Clean energy, sure, India, 302 days of sunlight a year, it's ripe for solar energy. I mean, you need the right incentives, you need the right infra processes, government grants, and the right policy to adopt solar. It's there's also a lot of wind in India, and um, uh, a lot of business plans in clean tech can be implemented in a country like ours with the right policy and the right will. So I think it's a great ground for a lot of social impact innovation.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing those opening remarks. Next, I would like to put my spotlight on Tarun. Tarun, again, the same question. What are the trends going to be for 2021 and beyond?
Sunny.
Can you hear?
So,
Can you?
how you hear me?
Okay, you're breaking up, and I think the quality of video is also like a bit not clear that much. Can you try again?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. So as Devang mentioned, healthcare is definitely would be the prominent segment which is going to emerge in 2021. And this pandemic is actually, though it came up with a lot of problems and challenges, but it also came up with a lot of opportunities, and it actually going to help with a lot of countries to advance their healthcare system. So healthcare is definitely one of the going to be emerging sector specifically into impact also. The another segment which we are also looking, and it has witnessed the highest number of investments in India in the VC in 2020, is agri-tech. So agri-tech would be the another segment. And the good part is this, that in both these segments there are a lot of innovators are working, a lot of social impact entrepreneurs are working, but because of the potential, because of the market, because of the current pandemic, the demand of these products are actually emerging and people are actually realizing. So that's why it is helping a lot of impact entrepreneurs. So I would say, for this 2021, we could see a lot of demand creation and market building for healthcare and agri-tech. And the third, which I would like to highlight, is the rural distribution. Specifically for India, still a lot of companies are not able to tap the 50% or 50 to 60% of the market, which stays in the rural India or tier 3, tier 4 cities. So there are a lot of companies or startups targeting to go into the rural distribution, target to the villagers or the bottom of pyramid people, either for the healthcare or for the FMCG products. So I think these are the three case areas which I am looking for 2021, which are going to emerge and would be meaningful to invest in the impact industry in India. Over to you.
Perfect. Perfect. Great start, Tarun. My apologies. Okay, great. Now I would like to go with Tushar. Tushar, hi again. Opening remarks. Trends for 2021. Because this area has been, it's not nothing new. Social impact, sustainability, but 2020 has taught us a lot, right? So let's start with
Yeah.
yeah, your remarks.
Yeah. So, Sunny, this has become a movement. Of course, as an investor, we see the commercial side of things. We see that the cost of solar panels, wind turbines, it has decreased a lot after a lot of research and development. We see that the cost of electricity produced by renewable means is better than fossil fuels, and this is all this leads to a movement, but there is a lot of government action as well. Investors are very conscious, regulators and governments are pushing all these technologies, and there's a growing recognition that ESG research and analysis can potentially identify investment risks and generate excess returns. So there are fat tail risks associated, like in Mumbai many years back, but not such a long time back. There were flash floods, and the freak climate phenomena. People attribute it to all this greenhouse gases, and just the fact that the Paris Climate Pact got signed, and the US was the only country backing out of it, and now again back into it, shows that this has become a movement. Uh, you know, uh, so I feel that investments are taking the direction accordingly, and we are seeing a lot of innovative companies on the impact side, which are into sustainable investing, is sustainable sector, and that's the way things are looking up right now.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those remarks, Tushar. This is a movement, rightly said. It's a movement now. Let's hear from Sean about Nigeria. I mean, obviously, same. I think everywhere it's been created impact, a lot of impact. Sean, yes, your remarks about the trends in 2021.
Yeah, just want to do a sound check. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, very much.
Awesome. So I guess we're going to be hearing things that sound kind of repetitive. Nigeria and the African continent in general, there seems to be this story of the very things things just being very unsustainable. The interesting part about it is the things that make it very difficult to do business and very difficult for businesses to scale are really connected to infrastructure, and these represent an opportunity for an entrepreneur to become a modern Mansa Musa or a Rockefeller or a Carnegie in that space. If we're looking at it from very, very high up, from a continental perspective, you run across, again, the same general themes of food security, access to capital, making companies sustainable and scalable. There's addressing the culture of equality as well. So there are a lot of different spaces to kind of take a look at. But when you're looking at where best, again, healthcare, health tech. These are things that are coming up. Where I'm hearing all types of things going on with African companies here and startups and techies looking at how will we be able to manage the vaccine when they come, when it does get here, when it is able to be disseminated. So there's interest there. And then we've already invested in certain companies like 54 Gene, which is studying genomic research. So there's already been a focus here in this COVID era that focused the attention in the healthcare sector. What we're also finding here that everywhere, logistics and supply chains have been shattered. So you have companies, again, I always mention the one that we have here, Jetstream, but there are companies like this that are trying to solve the problem of not only how do we more effectively transport goods and services inside countries, but how do we create more intercontinental trade within the African continent. For a more local perspective, Nigeria spends about $61 million a year on tomatoes and tomato paste, right? And we import 89 metric tons. But you have a situation where tomatoes grow quite well in the north, and there's just not the capacity to get it down to the southern regions where the consumption is taking place. So there are just issues here where to have like really, really high sustainable impact, investing in these spaces, logistics, agriculture. If you close your eyes and throw a rock in Nigeria right now, you'll probably hit a fintech startup. So that's also a trend that's been here and that will continue to be. Again, we're invested in no less than 5 different companies that are taking some angle of that. We have one of my favorite companies coming up right now is a company called Mono, which is basically creating a Nigerian version of Plaid, which to me is finally representing what I love to see, financial structure being built within the African continent, in Nigeria, as opposed to just remittance. Again, already touched on agriculture, also digital communication platforms. Not only is it just Zoom and different things, people are also doing things that are trying to either build on top of these applications and approaches, and also create things that kind of help with just expanding the capacity. So the company that I really like, give you guys examples, the company called Fun, which basically is an application to kind of just monetize what your digital across all these different platforms.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I think your connection is breaking out a little bit in the middle. Let's move to the next speaker. Probably you can also help increase your volume a little bit more. Okay. Thank you. So great. Thank you so much, Sean. While you just fix things up, let's move on to the next speaker. Next, I see on my screen William. Hi, William. Welcome back.
So, hi, Tony. Hi. All right. We heard about sustainable angle from the other speakers on macro. Maybe I should share a bit on micro, like what's happening in Malaysia and also ourselves, what we are doing. Okay. So we started the vertical farm last year, and now we are on our 5th harvest already. So we have a container farm just slightly off Kuala Lumpur. All right. And now we are actually building our first 30,000 square feet vertical farm, right? So why we want to do that? Okay, so number one is how to provide sustainable food, okay, to neighborhoods. So we want to focus within 10 to 20 kilometer radius from that community, delivering fresh vegetable from farm to fork, okay? And because there's a lot, Malaysia is currently having the monsoon season, a lot of vegetables come from the highlands, right? There's a lot of landslide and also the rains and flood in that particular highlands for the last 2 months, okay? Therefore, a lot of logistic in terms of delivering vegetables to wholesaler then downwards to retailers are all affected. Okay, so we are going into that sector, okay, to focus on urban farming. And other than that, we are also involved in solar. Okay, so tomorrow will mark a very important milestone. We already identified a warehouse that can accommodate up to 90,000 square feet. Okay, and another deal that I'm involved is in solar. Okay, so tomorrow they will visit the farm and they will measure the 90,000 square feet rooftop. Okay, so we are actually installing 1.2 megawatt of solar panel, and 100% of the energy will be consumed by the vertical farm. Right? We are also exploring how do we fit more rooftops. There's a few buildings around there, and we are trying our best to see how we can put more solar on the rooftop to support up to 90,000 square feet. Okay, so this is what we are actually doing already in Malaysia. And of course, because of our actions, now a lot of people actually approach us to consult us. And today, a friend of mine actually contacted me. He's an advisor for one of the largest manufacturing company in Malaysia. They are one of the KLCI 100. Okay, in terms of ESG risk, okay, they have a risk rating. Okay, starting from low, medium, high, and severe. And unfortunately, they are in the severe line. It's under red color, right? So they were asking us, how do we lower the severe risk, okay, for that company, okay? So that opened up another opportunity for us to actually advise companies, especially the manufacturing, how to reduce their carbon footprint. All right? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, William. Thanks for that opening remarks. So next I have on my screen Gary. Gary, hi Gary, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, let me just keep get you on focus. Yes, there you go.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, I see myself. Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
I'm talking to myself. I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. How you doing? Okay. That's great. Anyhow, so there's we've got some challenges, right? And you're right, Sonny. Over the last year, we've seen how our systems that we thought were in place and really efficient have really broken down. And at the same time, I mean, think about it. The Himalayas have been seen for the first time in the last 30 years. And so we understand we can make a dent in the universe. At the same time, the population of the world has increased 4 times in the last 100 years, projected to be 13.1 billion by the end of this century. So we've got challenges. We've got to get more food out of less space. So things like farm to fork, vertical farming, hydroponics, being able to make our systems more efficient, using things of farming 4.0 and the Internet of Things to be able to get sensors in the field to understand how much water we need, how many chemicals, organic, need to be in there. I mean, all kinds of things. So the good news is we've got this wonderful opportunity and we understand. The other thing is we understand our vulnerabilities. The supply chain, as we've said many, many times, we understand that, here we are, society can build quantum computers at the same time. We can't get the basic essentials, toilet paper, paper towels. It's interesting. So we've got to really make our systems, our supply chains, much more efficient and effective and transparent so we can look into it. We're particularly interested in social impact. I've been working with the Black community almost 13 years. And our idea is that, intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. And that was my thesis when I first went over to Russia a number of years ago. People said 14 years I lived there. I started going in 92. But, we kicked off the ecosystem. I started the first accelerator over there in Moscow. And one of the things that happened is all of a sudden things start to change very, very quickly. So, what we got to do, the beauty of VCTV is being able to reach out to investors and startups all over the world. We've got to give people opportunities. So on the Black community side, it's very simple. If I seed an AI company or quantum company in a place like Atlanta, Georgia. At the same time, I bring disadvantaged, and I don't mean in an entitlement way, into the company to train them as a fellow to help them understand how to run the company. Things start to change. So whether they're from Carnegie Mellon or Harvard or Princeton or Georgia Tech or whatever. So I've worked closely with the former mayor of Atlanta, Kasim Reed, and as I said, one of the members of the NAACP is on our board. So, those are the kind of things. And, it was interesting yesterday on my show, I had a 4-star admiral from the White House. It's, former, the number 2 guy in the entire U.S. military, Admiral Bill Owens. And one of the things we talked about is each one of us can make a difference on the planet. It's just a matter of taking that leap forward. So what I believe and what we believe is let's take the leap forward. So work here in an entitlement kind of way. It's how can everybody succeed? Let's have the social responsibility, but let's make sure that it's profitable and it's a real business. And that way, I believe we can have the most impact. I had Per Wimmer's manager. Per Wimmer is Richard Branson's partner on my show yesterday, and I'm good friends with Peter. And one of the things we talked about is let's make it so it's a win-win all the way around, and we get the support. So that's really where we are. I believe, I'm very optimistic that, humans are resilient. We've responded to all kinds of challenges. Now the situation, because we have the digital transformation in front of us, let's make the world a little bit better place. And when I say that, I'm putting my money and actions around that particular area, which is let's bring the opportunities to everybody in the world.
Great. Thank you, Gary, so much for that lovely opening remarks. After that, next move on to the next speaker, and I see on my screen Flo. Hi, Flo. Welcome back. So let's start with with your opening remarks about the topic. So I know you already have a stable coin, and let's talk about what's the focus of your stable coin. How socially it's going to bring an impact, or create an impact in the society and the world. Over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you, Sonny. Just realized that dream catcher behind me makes me look like I have a halo and earrings. I don't. Yeah. As I said, sustainability and social impact are 2 of my core issues. With NECO, the stablecoin you mentioned, we try to address the major issues of the planet and our society, and especially what we've seen now in this crisis of Corona crisis. Our existing system is coming down. This may be shocking for some people, but I think that this is a great opportunity and the world will be much better after this crisis. We need a new system, that's for sure. That's what we're doing with NECO. We're building a new financial system. And due to the economic effects that Corona has had and will have, our consumption is down, our growth is down, and that's the killer for a system which is built on exponential growth. It will collapse. So what we have started last year in the 3rd quarter was our universal basic income program. So people can receive free universal basic income. It's unconditional. Everyone can sign up and receive a certain amount of money in our token for free. It's it starts at 400 NECO at the moment, but you can increase your allowance by increasing your karma. And karma is a token that you earn for doing good things, like either investing in good projects like ours, or investing your time, volunteering, very important, and especially now in these times where people need help. But also in changing your behavior, as William mentioned, or as William said, food is one of the key things in our world. One side, agriculture is the most destructive industry that we have, polluting our water supplies, polluting the atmosphere more than any other industry. And also, food is one of the biggest health problems, much bigger than Corona, because there's, I think, 16 million people that die every year from diseases which were mostly related to their diet. So I think that's where we have a great impact. And that's what we're trying to do with NECO. We're trying to help people, but also invest in the planet. We do this every quarter. We let our user community decide collectively how we should distribute our earnings into the 3 pockets. One is for profit, one is for people, one is for the planet. And with that approach, we're trying to have a positive triple bottom line, which means having a positive impact on people, planet, and profit.
Yeah, you currently are in Thailand, if I'm not wrong. Are you?
No, I was in Thailand last year, lockdown. Not a bad place to get locked down. Right now, I'm in Germany.
Oh, you've gone back home, is it? That's home for you?
Kinda, I'm a digital nomad, so the planet is my home, but this is home. This is actually the city where I was born. But it's winter, and you had a good start into the winter, but now it's raining. It's not the kind of weather I like. So actually, I prefer Thailand now, to be honest.
Okay, great. I know. I saw your pictures. I saw your pictures. In Thailand, I was like, wow, it's the best place to be locked down, I guess.
Yeah, 5 months on an island. Yeah, so
yeah, that's amazing. Next to the beach. Yeah. Great. Okay, I'm going to start again with, I'll rotate the speakers now. So Tushar want to discuss something about an impact business from Gurgaon. Probably it's a startup, right? Sorry, Tushar. It's about to start.
Sunny, thank you so much. It's a 2.5-year-old company called Ecol BPO BPM. So what they do is they meet very serious impact goals, and they do it along with generating superior returns. So they had $120,000 worth of business annually, and right now within 1 year they are doing $120,000 per month. And the kind of impact objectives they have achieved is that 52% of their recruitment has been from the marginalized sections of the society. They do a lot of affirmative action, like they train even those people who can't clear their 12th class exams. They train them. They get them up to the level of the professional service required for business process outsourcing and management. 42% of their recruits are women, and more than 70% is from economically weaker sections of the society. And they are right now they're doing a good work, that they are sitting on almost another 12x growth within this coming 1 year, while meeting all these impact goals. So I thought it's a very nice opportunity for someone to not only achieve impact goals, but also get a 12x return in 1 year again, which is simply not visible with generally the impact kind of companies, because their goals are not so commercial. Thanks, Amit.
Great example. Tushar. Anybody have any such examples to share? Let's take that question now. Who would like to go next? William? William, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. So let Tushar just shared a startup in the impact space and what kind of impact they're bringing to the society. So I'm sure you obviously represent startups as well yourself. So let's take through some of
today I'm not talking about myself. Actually, was in discussion with another company that approached me yesterday. They want to provide ESG consulting and also advice on carbon credit, because in Malaysia, not many or most companies or manufacturing, they don't know how to make use of carbon credit. Okay, so and of course I mentioned just now, a lot of manufacturing company actually do not take care of their ESG index. Okay, so in Malaysia, a lot of institutional investors had already mentioned for the next 3 to 5 years they will stop investing in companies that do not fall below moderate level or low level, right? So a lot of manufacturing companies, especially the listed ones, are actually going to or forced to take care of their sort of pollution. Okay, a lot of palm oil company, for example, every year Malaysia or Singapore will suffer haze up to hazardous level, where we can't even open our eyes sometimes. Okay, usually about 3 days of a year, right? Where the the haze is so severe that school have to close, right? So these are big corporates. They actually don't go into doing sustainable agriculture, right? So I think 2 years ago, EU actually banned import of palm oil to Europe, right? So now they have to look into that, and therefore that startup actually had discovered a few techniques and also the know-how from overseas. Okay, and they want to bring those services to serve corporate Malaysia and also the surrounding region. So we are looking into that, and most likely we will work with them.
Great! Wow, that's very good initiative, William, and happy to to share more. I mean, happy for our audience to know more about it on the coming
Right.
sessions as well. I mean,
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Next, I would like to go with Dave Wang. Where do I see him? Yes.
Hi, yes, thanks. We are seeing, like I said, of course, we all know that healthcare has had a big impact on people's mindsets in the last 1 year since we've been at home in lockdown and thinking of the future of how to, live in sanitized environments and being immune to disease and things like that. So, as an outgrowth of that, I think we are talking to a few startups. I cannot disclose them right now because we're in confidentiality phases with them. But I think one trend is, mass screening for deadly diseases like cancer.
Hmm.
Hopefully, as a result of innovation that comes out of the ecosystem in India, will get progressively cheaper. So any biomarker, blood, breath, sputum, or others, uh, hopefully there'll be a time where even for a few dollars you'll get a kit by which you can deliver a biomarker to the nearest care center, which again hopefully will not be far from where you are physically, and get results delivered in a day or two. And screening for all kinds of cancers will be like as as easy and as affordable as you screen for like flu in your annual test, for example. So I think that is an area which is ripe for innovation, as is for diseases like let's say type 2 diabetes, which are much more prevalent in India as compared to other geographies. I think mass screening and affordability of these tests for a large population will be a perfect intersection of early stage ecosystem and social impact.
I think screening, when it comes to screening, it's very expensive here in Singapore. I don't know about India. Is it like, can that be? Is it affordable to anyone?
No, it's not necessarily affordable and it's not necessarily available outside of bigger metros and tier two cities. So the biggest problem is, people rely on camps or other kinds of social initiatives to get screened, right? But to do it on an annual basis or semi-annual basis, as most people in metros are used to, is not that easy.
You're right. I mean, even living in Singapore, I can say the packages are quite expensive.
Right,
I think if we can democratize those, in terms of
right.
giving access to everybody, then it's creating real impact for the people. Thank you so much, Devang. Next,
But Sunny, the money is there for these kind of impact and sustainable businesses. So, one third of dollars under professional management in the US is now catering to the impact side. And almost $17.1 trillion was managed according to sustainable investing strategies. So, I'm sure all this is like flowing to India as well. There are 905 alternative funds that consider ESG criteria in the US right now. So, with assets under management of $716 billion. So, all this augurs quite well.
okay, good. As long as those funds get allocated to the right place, that's what
Right.
we would like to see, creating an impact
Right.
to the society. So, yeah. Next, I would like to go with Tarun. Tarun, over to you, please.
Yeah. So, there are a
So,
couple of companies and hello, am I audible?
yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So there are a couple of companies into agri space, and I would like to specifically highlight two of the proposals which we are evaluating. and because of the confidential nature, I'll not be able to name. So one of the companies is, so in India there is one of the big problem in where when is agri warehousing finance receipts. So there are a lot of problem because when a farmer harvests its produce, and rather than going for selling, it would like to go for a warehouse or wait for particular period of time where the prices are matured, then it would like to sell its produce. But meanwhile, it doesn't have a working capital. So to solve that working capital, it preserve its uh, deposits to warehouse, and it get a receipt, and against that receipt it get loan from a bank. Now this is a normal scenario which has been happening in India from from last for 40, 50 years. Now there has been in India, there has been a lot of frauds are happening, and because of which frauds like the duplication of receipts, or there are fake receipts, or on one receipt there are multiple lendings are happening. Because of which now a lot of private and public sector banks are avoiding this sector. But because this comes into the target sector from the government of India, that's why they are also pushed to provide loan to these farmers. Now there is one of the startup who is solving this problem by providing the solution in the blockchain. So the idea is that this startup is actually bringing farmers, bankers, and warehouse and CMAs who are managing the warehouses on a single platform. And this is the entire platform is actually protected by the blockchain. So the idea is that the entire trail is audited. So you cannot, there is nothing you can miss. Even if you change something, the entire thing can be trailed out. The second part, because of this, the banks are able to rely on this platform, because they know the one receipt which is getting issued, you cannot fake it, you cannot duplicate it. The entire banking system can verify. So this is one of the example I would like to share. The another one, I think it's recently got funded from a Singapore based fund called Blue Assure. This is Devik Earth, which is into environmental space. So basically Devik Earth has developed a method where which it is actually helping in clearing the air by using the Wi-Fi and routers model. So I think it's a very known public deal in India and in Singapore space. You can see into this, but the use cases, because one of the key challenges in the impact space is that the entrepreneurs are not able to monetize, because they are not able to monetize. The venture capitals or any investors are not interested in this. How this company, so this product air pollution problem has a lot of challenges in every area, but this company has identified very key niche segments where it can monetize it. So one of the key segment is as seen is the marathons. Whenever there is a marathon, there is a regulatory requirement that the air pollution should not be there, otherwise the organizer cannot conduct the marathon. The second is the stadiums, where a lot of matches are happening. So third one is factory and industrial areas. So every factory or every industrial unit needs to comply with the air pollution unit. There's air pollution compliances, otherwise they will be charged, and the industry can shut down also. So these are the target segment which these companies are targeting, and because of which they are able to monetize also, and they got good raise from the Singapore-based funds. So there are a couple of examples, but considering the time, I would like to stop here and over to you, Sunny.
Oh, great, Tarun. The first startup that you mentioned on blockchain, obviously, the single source of truth, right? The receipt that you mentioned cannot be tampered. That's the beauty about blockchain technology, right?
Correct.
And the second startup that you gave example, so is it like more investors, like it's a fund of funds, like you have funds from India and Singapore together on that?
No, so we actually, we are actually thinking of co-investment space, but this company has raised first round during our discussion, so that's why I, mentioned the name. The company name is Devik Earth. It's a Bangalore-based company, and Singapore-based fund Blue Assure has already invested in that. We are still thinking of to join the round. There are some challenges at our end, so because of the COVID, we are preferring to go for a supporting our current portfolio rather than going for new investments. So that's why the things are on hold from our side, but I think it's a great startup, and that's why I think it should be shared with among investors if they would like. That's why.
Great story, and sharing, Tarun. Thanks so much for sharing. much for that. And Sean, hope your volume's gone up and your internet a little steady. Over to you.
Hello, hello. Let's see. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, better or not, I can't say, but we can hear you. But your connectivity seems a little laggy.
Sorry. All right. I'll try to do my best.
Yeah.
So one of the major areas for social impact and sustainable investment that we saw with Ingress based on our activities with the advisory company is technical talent development. So again, I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn. So basically what we have set up is Ingressive for Good. And again, what we want to do is deploy $1 million in scholarship funding. We want to train 1 million youth and connect them to 5,000 jobs. Now, why is this relevant? It's relevant, again, because in dealing with a lot of our portfolio companies and looking at the entrepreneur and startup space that we were advising, the major issue is that they could not find the technical talent they needed to expand. So again, in response, we had program. Basically, we ran our pilot program over the last 6 months, and we were able to impact 40,000 different youth by partnering with companies like Facebook, Coursera, DataCamp, and whatnot to basically deliver the skill sets they need to move on to the next level and actually provide value to this ecosystem. And again, it's when I'm having this conversation about training, college students and whatnot in the African continent, I know with you guys all over the place and all over the world, it may seem like a specific problem, but what we need to realize is that the shortage in technical talent is a global problem. If you're looking at technology and science jobs in the United States, it outnumbered qualified workers by 3 million in 2016. If you fast forward a bit, by 2030, the global shortage of talent will be more than 85 million tech workers, representing an $8.5 trillion loss. So again, the problem that we are solving is not just for the African continent. It's a problem that we're seeing across the board in all markets all over the world. So we're kind of pushing there and having some amazing outcomes. So again, this is an extension of some of the programs, just to see how it works. This is an extension of some of the programs that we were running in 2017. And some of those people that were in the programs are now pitching our company for investment. So we're seeing what happens down the line. Also, again, just to toot our own horn, us being able to create a talent development pipeline that feeds into VCs and portfolio companies and startups and entrepreneurs, it creates the success stories like we have now, where we had an in-depth relationship with the tech ecosystem in Nigeria that allowed us to identify a pay stack. We were able to deep dive and have a relationship. We know where he is, know where he lives, we know his family, and now they're a company that just got bought by Stripe for $200 million. We want to replicate that within the continent and within the globe.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Sean, for those insights. Next, I would like to move over to Gary. Gary, yeah, your insights, please.
Yeah. So, one of the things that the reason I started GSD, because I believe that, the data around us, that each one of us is impacted, and the more we can spread the word out, as I said, democratize opportunities. But I'll talk about two specific companies. And of course, we have 17 in our portfolio. So, but let me talk about two that are interesting. In fact, they're all interesting, but top of mind. So Zemply is a company. I mean, the challenges today, talk about social impact. We've got aging population in many places around the world. And this is a tremendous opportunity to be able to do things the right way. So remote patient monitoring, being able to keep your parents, your loved ones in their house longer, to be able to care for them in the right way, to be able to help them live longer and a fuller life. I mean, Zemply, I actually not only am into that company, I'm a co-founder of that one. And it's a Stanford MBA addressing the problem of aging populations around the world, to be able to keep your loved ones in their house longer. Came out of my own experience with my father. So, and it's we're now one of the top 7 aging in place companies in the U.S. Eva.ai. Challenge today, we've got problems with managing remote workers around the world. Actually, I saw this problem a number of years ago and co-founded the company with one of the billionaires from Russia. in Silicon Valley. So, I mean, but look at around us. I mean, data, the amount of data that we have in front of us, there's 40 zettabytes of data, which is equivalent to, if we took CDs or DVDs, stacked one on top of another, would go 29 times between the Earth and the Moon. So we're inundated, and that number's grown about 67% per year. So my thing is, if we're going to be able to survive as a society, to be able to do things like telemedicine, telehealth. I was just on a panel in Europe on drug discovery using artificial intelligence to reduce bench time, right? Which, if you look at a number of the COVID vaccines, came out of that, including Pfizer with Watson. So we need to use those technologies for the good, not for the bad. And now we have quantum and AI. Think about the kind of impact we can have socially around the world. Think about the impact on health. I just wrote a paper about living to 150. I did a project with MBA students. I took a summer off a couple of years ago. We were doing a project out in Palo Alto on living to 120. So we've got a chance to really enrich our lives. There's really a convergence of data and now the technology to be able to address that data. So artificial intelligence, quantum computing, et cetera. So, and then, we're going to be here on this planet X amount of time. And I don't mean during our lifespan. I'm talking about as humanity. We need to explore the universe and we need to reach out. There are 6 billion Earth-like planets in the Milky Way and estimated 200 trillion galaxies. My thing is we need to, think less about fighting each other and figure out how we can solve problems to live a bit longer. So across the board, I have companies in Africa today that are part of the GSD. So we're going out and we're creating jobs. Jobs is a first place to have a social impact. And wherever that is, South America, we've got companies in Germany, Australia, et cetera, but create jobs. So data, technology, let's use it for the betterment. And like I said, I mean, literally every one of the 17 companies that we're working on today have some type of an impact, social impact, huge social potential social impact.
Great. Thank you, Gary, for those insights. Amazing work. Well said, Gary. Okay. I have a request from Tushar. He wants to share some examples, use cases from another startup. Tushar, over to you, please. Yes, quickly before we take the closing.
Thank you, Sunny. I won't take more than a minute on this. So there is a company in Gurgaon called Animoy Technologies. It's our client. They have manufactured 4 kind of robots. One is a food delivery. One is education technology. The third one is for disinfecting buildings using ultraviolet rays. And the fourth one is robotic scavenging. So, manual scavenging is a common practice in this part of the world, cleaning sewers and municipal lines using humans, and which are sometimes deadly because these lines have a lot of gases trapped there. So Supreme Court of India has struck down manual scavenging, and this company has created robotic robots which do robotic scavenging. So that is, I think, there can't be a better impact which a company can create. And, I just wanted to mention this product before we end today. Thank you, Sunny.
Perfect. Thank you, Tushar, for that. Quickly, Devang just messaged saying Lumos Health.global is also their accelerator in healthcare startups in their portfolio. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's take some closing remarks. I'm going to start with Devang first.
Yes, again, closing remarks. It's a wonderful show as usual, Sonny. Thank you for organizing. It's a great topic. It affects all of us. Job and wealth creation is one thing, but doing that, creating jobs and wealth with social impact to reach people that are usually at the periphery of societal change or these wealth creation activities, to include people in these wealth creation activities, to mitigate pain, to cure disease, to live clean and green. All of these are wonderful initiatives. I think there's a lot of effort and discussion that has gone into it, including India, and there should be a lot more of it. So thank you for this program and look forward to more of this.
Perfect. Thank you, Devang, for that closing remarks. Next, I move to Tarun. Hi, Tarun, over to you, please. This is the first time, and we wish to have you back with your closing remarks, please.
Sure. So yeah, definitely it's a great initiative, and I actually enjoyed the session. So adding to the what Devang mentioned, and I actually believe in the ecosystem approach. So I totally agree with what Gary mentioned, that this is actually the impact investment, sustainable investment is actually a very important and profit making space. But we should definitely go for a ecosystem approach. We need to work together, help together, whether it's from this country or across countries or across industries, and then only we'll be able to build a sustainable world. So over to you, Sunny.
Uh, Thank you so much, Tarun, for those closing remarks. Next, I have Tushar. Hi, Tushar, over to you, please.
Sunny, whenever you are moderating, I just punch in and say I'll be there. So, I just love the energy you bring to the show.
What about the
And
song?
it's
What about
no,
the
no
Bollywood?
song today. No, no. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Sunny. It's always a pleasure, and especially such relevant topics and conducted so well. Thank you so much, Sunny.
Well, obviously, Tushar, we'd like to have you on our VCTV back again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, Sean. Hi, Sean. Well, closing remarks from you, please.
Thank you again for having me on. It's always a pleasure. I love what you all are doing, having international perspective. Again, check out Ingressive if you're interested in investing in the African continent. I look forward to partnering and having follow-up conversations with the panel members as well. Also, check out Ingressive for Good if you're interested in social impact on the tech talent development space. And I must say, Gary, I'm very interested in like some of the people you mentioned in your network and some of the activities you have going on there. I'm very interested. I feel like I thought of this Neku coin concept a long time ago. So even though it wasn't me, I'm glad to see that somebody is doing that. And I definitely want to reach out and connect to you too as well, Fio. So with that being said, onward and upward. I hope everybody does well. And it's a pleasure to be here again.
Great. Onward and upward. Thank you so much, Sean. Definitely, we're going to have you back on our panels. William, over to you with your closing remarks, please.
Thanks, Sonny. It's always a pleasure to be here and with all the panel speakers as well. Yep, we are open to work with everyone, okay, to build a sustainable future. Thank you very much.
Yes, let's build a sustainable future all together. Thank you, William. Thanks for that. Gary, over to you, please, with your closing remarks.
Yeah, sure. Each one of us on the panel and each one of the viewers here can make their own dent in the universe. And I talk to amazing people, the Kawasaki's of world, admirals of captains of industry, and each one of us can make a little dent in the universe. We just have to take that step forward and try, and as a country boy from Pennsylvania, I know some of the things we've been able to do. It's just by trying. So there's a great opportunity out there. I'm very bullish and positive about the planet. We need to work closer together. We've seen our vulnerabilities over the last year because of this COVID, this pandemic, everything from, being closer to our families and, keeping it simple, bicycling, board games, going back in time. Sonny, about the bicycling, right? And so, we're back. We've had to look inside ourselves and we've had to reevaluate who we are as humanity, and kindness is important, happiness, and trying to help each other. So with that, people can reach me, Gary Fallon, LinkedIn. You can reach me on Facebook, Twitter. I'd love to talk to you. And if you get a chance, I have a lot of very remarkable people that I interview every week. And I'd love to have you listen to the show and participate. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm bullish about the future.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Really, really a positive, future looks bright, I would say. Thank you, Gary, for those remarks. Next, I have Flo. Hi, Flo. Your closing remarks for the session today.
Yeah, thank you, Sani. I always like the shows you moderate. You bring in such a positive vibe. You don't even need Mickey Mouse for that. And so, yeah, I was excited today to have speakers from countries like India and Nigeria, countries with lower income. I don't like the word developing countries. I would say countries with lower income, to see what challenges they have. And these challenges are sometimes very different to the challenges we have here in, higher income countries. So my closing remark today is, I think what we really need in the world is a new financial system. We have the resources, we have enough food for everyone, we have all these amazing technologies that help us live sustainable and healthy, but people can't afford them. Our states don't have the money to invest. So we are kind of stuck in a belief system that money is somehow scarce and the actual resources are in abundance, but it's actually the opposite. The actual resources like food, they are in abundance, but they are limited. The only thing that's unlimited in the end is money, because it's nothing but numbers in computer systems right now. So in our current system, that is the limitation. Money is scarce, and we need to remove that limitation to live in a world where we can enjoy all the technologies and all the food and all the things we have right now, and it's affordable for everyone. So I think that's really what we have to work on, and the times couldn't be better. I think this crisis is the start of a new age, an age of health and sustainability, and the collapse of the old system will lead to a new system which will help resolve many of these problems. So I'm as optimistic as Gary is, maybe not as optimistic, but also very optimistic, and looking forward to making these things happen.
Perfect, Flo. We all are optimistic for a better future because we have learned our lessons. So let's hope for the best for the planet and for the well-being of the humankind. So having said that, this brings us to the end of the show. I really love moderating the shows. Tomorrow I'm back again on another episode of VCTV with another set of speakers and another new topic. Till then, stay connected, keep in touch, take care of yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.